Welcome! My name is Debbie Overly, and I am a teacher at BJU Press Digital Instruction. I have taught several elementary science courses, and my own children, now who are all grown, have used the BJU Press science materials through grade 12. So the ideas that I'm going to share with you for science projects that the whole family can enjoy are things that we have done as a family, as well as other ideas from the BJU Press science curriculum, which, by the way, is full of hands-on ways for your children to see and to do science in a very practical way. I hope that there will be some science projects for your family that you can take away from this time and that will help you to grow young scientists right there in your home. Now, maybe you don't have a natural inclination towards science, but you do want your children to learn and to grow in their appreciation of science. You want them to grow to be better at science than you are. So I think that working together and learning together is the ultimate family collaborative exercise. You've got all ages and stages and abilities and perspectives just coming together to work on a project or to do activities that enhance the understanding of science concepts and of God's world. So I want to encourage everyone to work together and to answer the important biblical worldview shaping questions that help our children to understand why they are learning science. So what are those important biblical worldview shaping questions? Well, the first one is, why do things work together in nature? And then, why are people important? Why is science important? And where did our world come from, and how has it changed? And I think I have some fun ideas that can help. First of all, I want us to remember something very practical, and that is that our attitude towards anything, including science and doing science as a family, will definitely affect our children's attitudes. So when we do something together with joy and enthusiasm and set that positive tone, that has a great influence on our children. So if we're showing interest in God's creation and how amazing it is to learn science, so I think that will, in almost all cases, the children will want to do that too, especially when we start when they are very young. So here are some ideas to get started. And we are going to start doing some things on the outside. So the first one is science hikes. Now, everyone likes to get outside on a pretty day. And when you're outside, learning just seems like it's more natural and less like real work, doesn't it? And there are many things that you can do and learn on a science hike. So make a science hike or walk doable for all ages of your children. So be careful that it's not too hard or too easy. Now, here's a true confession. Our family has attempted a hike or two that was just too strenuous and long for everyone to enjoy and learn. So just be aware of that, and also be sure that you take your water and your snacks to help everyone's endurance, and that'll bring a little joy too. So family walks and age-appropriate hikes are just great ways to observe and learn about creation and to be together. So before you start, make or find an online scavenger hunt. Or you could find a game for each family member. Now, children can work together to help each other find what they're looking for outside. And there are just a lot of them available online for younger children and also for older children. Different ages can have different things that they are looking for, but you're working together to help each other. You can even find bingo type games. There are just many, many possibilities. You can look for a variety of trees and plants and flowers and large and small wildlife and different kinds of rocks. And you can also find more advanced versions, maybe for your upper high school children, there are biodiversity scavenger hunts, all sorts of different things that you can do together and look for together. Just remember that when you are on a family hike, there may be some places where you can take samples, but many places ask you not to take anything out of a park, like when you're in a national park. But you can always take pictures, of course, and you can record by writing down or drawing what you are seeing. And remember that different family members are going to see different things and can point them out to others. Now, on our family hikes, my husband especially loves to sight wildlife. That's his thing. He loves to look for deer and different kind of birds and even bear. And our family went on lots of walks and lots of hikes, and we went to a lot of trips to national parks when our children were still at home. There were lots of conversations and excitement in finding new things. We also have the opportunity to answer the question, why and how do things work together in nature? You can just see it. It's very teachable moments. And there are opportunities to learn about how the animals' needs are met in their habitats and even how to learn about food chains. Now, another family science project that flows very naturally from hikes are collections and, for example, insect collections. This is a great family project, or if one of your children has a dedicated insect collection to do for a course. And I've got a great example here that I can see. And you can let family members help collect and learn about the insects together. So maybe one person has the project, but other family members are helping that person. Now, I know from experience that not all children love to collect insects. I have been there. So when each of our 3 children was about 13, they had to do an insect collection as a science project. And I think that the goal for each collection was to find 30 insects, and they had to catch them, they had to classify them, and they had to pin them to a display board. And we looked for insects together when we took our walks and hikes. And we actually found one time we were out west, we found a very cool insect on a trip that we took, an insect that we don't have here in South Carolina. And we all learned about insects. We used Field Guide, though now there are just lots and lots of insect identification websites and apps that you can use to help with that kind of thing. And we kept an insect net and little bags and containers handy in our car. And we caught insects in different environments, not just in our yard. And we went all over looking for different kind of insects together. Now, besides nature walks and hikes and insect collection, another great family project, science project, is plants and gardens, growing plants and having a family garden. Now, this is just a great way to learn about the life cycle of a plant up close, what plants need to grow and reproduce, and the result can be some wonderful and delicious produce. So I think a great thing to do is to have your children soak some seeds. This will help to soften them. And lima beans work great for this. And the first thing that they can see are the parts of the seed. They can see how the seeds were created to have everything they need. So they got the seed coat, and then they open up the seed. This lima bean, again, is a great example. And you can see the tiny plant in it. And then all of this here is the food that the plant needs to start out. Next, you can watch your seeds germinate in clear glass jars. Now, this is really fun for everyone. So each family member gets a clear jar and some bean seeds. This regular bean seeds work great for this, and some paper towels. So you should soak the bean seeds for several hours or overnight, and then put them in the jar with a paper towel and spray the paper towel so that it is wet. And then you can place the jars in or near the window and watch the seeds germinate and a seedling start to grow. Now, I started this several days ago, maybe 5 or 6 days ago, and I can see my roots. I have the shoot, I have the seedling, and this part up here, you can still see that the seed is attached to it because it still has that food for the plant. And I want to tell you that I actually did not put this in a window. I just had this in the artificial light in the office where I work, and it has done great. And this is a fun thing for everyone to do together. So before you act, this is just for us to see how a seed gets started. But then as you start your family garden by germinating seeds, you can do that inside before the weather outside is warm enough to plant. So give each family member a different kind of vegetable to start from seed. And you start those seeds inside in small cups with soil. And then when it's warm enough and the seedlings are strong enough, plant them outside. Now, I think all family members will enjoy seeing the seedlings grow, and they can, again, act like scientists. They can record by writing or drawing the different stages of what is happening to their plants. And this will give you great opportunity for discussions about the plant's life cycle, what a seed needs to germinate, what a young plant needs to grow, pollination, fruit, and then fruit inside, the seeds inside the fruit. And this lends itself to many great teachable moments and time to share and learn with your family some answers to the questions, why do things work together in nature, and why is science important? Now, pollination is an amazing example of things working together in nature. You've got the insects that are helping the plants, and they're the plants helping the insects. And learning about that life cycle of the plant and how we can keep plants healthy also helps us to answer that question, why is science important? We need plants. Animals need plants for food, and people need plants for food, and most food chains start with plants, and our ecosystem needs plants. This is a great time to emphasize that it's only our great Creator God that could design the process of germination, pollination, and of all of the plant life cycle. So starting and maintaining a garden is a wonderful family project. A few years ago, during the spring of the pandemic, my husband and I started tomatoes from seed. And we often have a garden, but I think this was the first time that we had actually done tomatoes from seed. And it was a lot of fun for us to watch the process and the progress of our seeds and the little plants. And eventually, we got some really strong plants that had very delicious tomatoes. And that was a lot of fun for us. Another family activity that you can do together is stargazing and moon watching. And you can observe the stars and the moon in the night sky together. Now, you might have a great backyard, a big backyard that has a clear view of the sky, or you might need to find a spot where the view of the sky is relatively clear. So you can get stargazing maps. You can get constellation maps you can find these online. These are from actually the BJU Press Science materials. And you can also check out websites that can help you to find the best things to look for in the sky each month. And you can also find different places where they will give you night sky observing tips. You can also do a moon watcher activity like this, using a chart to record observations throughout the moon. And I think all these things are just fun to do as you go outside in the evening, at night, with your family. And one last idea for outside that I want to share with you is making a solar system model. So, you've probably had inside models that you've made of the solar system with your family, but modeling the solar system outside is a very fun thing to do. You can answer questions like, how far away are we really from the sun? How far away are we from the next planet? So to give your children and everyone in your family perspective on the size of the solar system, take your family outside and do an activity about the solar system. So one way to do this is to use cards, one for each planet plus one for the sun. So you give each family member a couple of cards, how many ever they can do, and then you have that family member write the name of his or her planet or the sun, and then they can research and find out some facts plus the distance in kilometers or miles from the sun. And they can draw a picture or find a picture and cut it out and paste the image on the card. So after you do that, you made your cards, written the fun facts on the back of the card. Then you can research a scale that can be used to create the model in your backyard. And you can use string or even toilet paper to show the relative distances. So that's a fun thing to do, and they even get a little math work in there as well to make that scale. All right, now let's move inside to some things that we can do together inside. And there are so many ways that you can adapt science projects that your children have so that all of them can participate. So they can build and create projects about something that they are learning about, and then they can help each other as well. So here are just a few of them. The first we call send-off, or I'll call them also ball launchers. You can have everyone make a simple cotton ball launcher or a table tennis ball launcher. And I have a couple here that I've made. This is a cotton ball launcher that I made. And here is a table tennis ball launcher that I made. And these will teach about engineering, about energy, about force. So your children can do some research, sketch their ideas. This is a STEM idea. They can discuss how they would work, and then they're going to build and test their designs. So you could discuss after they make their first model how they can make their ball launchers better. And I think testing them in the family will be so much fun for all the family members to work together and test them together. The younger ones, of course, are going to have simpler ones, but everyone is going to enjoy this and have a lot of fun as they test them. Another great activity that you can do together, start this inside and then you'll move it outside, is to make insect traps. And what you can do for this is use some very simple materials. And there are a lot of ideas online, but you can make an insect trap that can be used to observe an insect more closely. So here's a very simple design. It's just a plastic bottle that's been cut in half and the top has been inverted, and then I would put some sweet liquid at the bottom of it, like something like honey, and then insects should come and be trapped. Now, some traps will, of course, kill the insects, but you could even challenge your children to make traps that won't kill the insect, and they could observe that insect more closely. So have some materials available and follow, again, that pattern of sketching designs and making the traps, and then testing the traps so that they can even make them better. And of course, you're going to take these outside. You're going to test them outside to see which ones will work best catching different kinds of insects. Some of them are going to be better at catching different kind of insects than others. And children are going to enjoy seeing their traps at work and also being able to observe the insects that they catch. The last activity they want to share that you can do inside and that everybody can do together, I'm going to call it Bag of Bones. And this helps students to understand that scientists who find bones, like dinosaur bones, try to figure out how the bones that they find fit together to form a skeleton. And they see that scientists need to use the bones as they are found to create a skeleton. And what this does is give them an idea of how a paleontologist needs to work. So it's creative and fun, and it can really work with all age levels. So you want to provide several kinds of pasta, and I've got several here, and they can even color it if they want. And they can do a little guided internet research on various kind of dinosaurs and then choose a dinosaur to learn more about. And they're going to make a model of using the various kind of pastas. So first, they would make a sketch of the kind of dinosaur that they wanted to make. And then they would create their dinosaur using the pasta. I think this one is a great one. I didn't make this one, but I think it's a great example. And it's important for you to remind the students, your students, that they can't break any of the pasta to fit their picture. You're reminding them that they need to use their bones the way they find them, just like a scientist needs to. And this is a fun and creative activity that a wide span of ages will enjoy doing together. And I've seen different children together in a family. All ages do this. So these are just a few ideas that I think will work well with encouraging your family's effort to learn and do science together and to learn more about the wonderful world that God has created. So I want you to have fun and enjoy the process as you work together making scientists in your home.